My derby name is Rebel Scum.
My derby name is Breakneck Betty.
My derby name's Ace of Blades.
My derby name is Dynamite Dog.
My derby name is Abby Normal.
Lucky Duck.
My name is Tiger Stripe.
My derby name is Red Riot. I started skating roller derby at 9 years old.
But I started roller skating a year and a half ago.
I started skating in 3rd grade when I was 9.
I started skating for derby about 2 years ago.
I started skating a few years ago, maybe 3 when I was about 9 or 10. I started around when I was in 5th grade, so about a year now.
I started skating 2 years ago and a half, I think. I started in the summer of 2020.
So I started actually getting into derby because my oldest daughter, Yuki, was skating, started in 2016, I believe. I was the loud parent on the bench, so I got relegated into officiating, and it kind of blossomed from that. I am now a tournament head official. I'm the head official for Boulder County Roller Derby, and I am one of the co-coaches for Boulder County Devils, and I really found my footing with coaching. I love to watch these kids grow and thrive.
So in 2015, I moved to Boulder and I didn't know anybody. And my husband worked at Bramble and Hare. Mm-hmm. And one of his coworkers, Sydney Cooper, Catastrophe, was one of the founders for the Boulder County Bombers in 2011. Okay. And I met her there, and she convinced me to go to the new recruit night. And then after many beers, she conned me into coming to skate with her. And I didn't know how to skate at all. And it just kind of happens that way. Like, you just go and then you meet all these really wonderful, strong women, and then you find something that's really challenging. But no matter how challenging it is, there's always a group of people there to lift you through it. And so it's kind of addictive. The challenge and the pain is kind of addictive. Mm-hmm. So that's how I got into derby. And then it's just kind of been a whirlwind since then.
One of my mom's friends was into a different roller derby team, and that's how I learned that there were junior roller derby teams that I could be a part of, and I jumped on it really quick.
I read the graphic novel Roller Girl by Victoria Jamieson, and I got really interested about roller derby then.
My mom's friend is on the Denver team, and both of her daughters did it, and so she thought it would be fun if I did it too.
So I watched a DRD Denver Roller Derby bout, and I was wondering if there was a version for kids that I could do, and my dad helped me look it up on their website if there was for the Boulder County Devils.
I have two cousins that play derby, and I thought it'd be interesting, so I went online and Googled, and that was the closest one near me. A friend of mine actually told me, because they were on the team at the time, and I decided that I wanted to join because I had seen movies and read books about it, and I thought it was super interesting.
I saw that Yo was alone. And coaching is a lot. You carry a lot on your shoulders because it's multifaceted. It's not just doing practice and doing bouts with the kids. It's shaping young minds and growing people individually and as a team. It's building strong individuals who have confidence in themselves. And that's not something we can do by ourselves. That's something that takes a community.
So Nope, Leslie Nope, one of our older skaters in 2018 had the idea about forming a junior league. And so I was a trainer pre-COVID for that. And then after COVID happened, Slam reached out to me and was like, hey, do we want to get the kids skating again? And after COVID, a lot of derby leagues kind of crumbled and fell apart. So we just started skating with the kids outside. And I think I had maybe 3 or 4 kids that we had pre-COVID come back. But we just had a bunch of kids, new kids, start skating, and they just had a lot of potential. And then I just, being in a leadership role instead of just a trainer, and building all of those kids up from the ground up just made me fall in love with all of them, with all of the different age groups. We have kids that are, I don't know, I think our youngest kid right now is 5, and then we have 18-year-olds. And so the wide span of kids, their different personalities, the different challenges they're going through in their lives, and how much they just all connect through this one community. It's hard not to fall in love with them and hard not to want to support them. So when we finally had enough kids, and I mean barely enough kids to form a team, I asked them if they wanted to skate competitively, and they said yes, and here we are.
I really love the people, and I love roller skating, but my coaches and my teammates are some of the best people I've ever met and my closest friends.
It's like a really nice community to be in. So you can have a lot of fun, but at the same time playing like a really competitive sport, essentially.
I really like the community and how kind everyone is, because even if you're going against a different team, they're always so sweet.
I really, really love the community, and I also think that it's just a super fun sport. It's really different than most other sports, but it's just so incredibly fun.
I like the people and like the skating, because not many sports allow for roller skating and hitting, so.
I think I like the community the best. Everyone is super supportive and really kind.
This is an easy one for me because I've been doing this for a long time. Show up. Don't just drop your kid off at practice. If you can be here, be here. Encourage them. Get loud in the stands. Tell those kids how much you think they're doing great. And not just your kid, all the kids. We're a huge community. Get to know the adult skaters, because at some point, these kids are going to age out at 18, and we want them to be with Boulder County for years. So make sure that you're also including yourself. Get to know Derby, understand the rules, ask questions, communicate, cheer these kids on, because boy, do they need it, and they want it so bad. That fire starts with you.
Ask questions. I'm hopeful that as our program moves forward, we'll have a good base for explaining general gameplay. I have a lot of parents who actively sit through practice, and so they get a chance to watch strategy and the way that the basic skills we teach become more advanced skills and strategy. So asking questions, and then a lot of times I've had kids who have come into the program, and while they've been here, they have found their identity. Because this is a safe space, we attract a lot of kids that don't necessarily identify in mainstream ways. And so I have had a handful of parents who have had a challenge adapting to that with their kids. So I would say ask questions, and then also have an open mind, I guess. You have to kind of come into it with an open mind, because this community with the adults and the kids is very open, and doesn't have a lot of walls.
The biggest challenge is probably like just like my mental state, because I get like really discouraged easily, but my teammates and my coaches and also my parents and my family have just like helped me overcome my discouragedness. I don't know the word.
Derby is especially a mental game, so I think overcoming like mental barriers, like in both gameplay and outside of practice, in practice, all of that is definitely it.
Probably learning to skate. I fell over a lot, and I feel like the hardest part is learning to get back up again after you've fallen over.
Some big hits from Photo here.
We try to aim for consistency between the juniors and the adults. There is a difference. Juniors are, they're growing bodies. They're trying to figure out what to do with these limbs. We're trying to work with their mental stamina, which is hard because the average age is 12 years old. I don't know if you've met a 7th grader, but I have one, and they're difficult sometimes. But we're teaching them foundational skills, and then we're building on that with advanced skills and strategy. I watch a lot, and so do the kids and Yo, a lot of derby outside of our practices and outside of our games. We make sure that we have watch parties so that we know what to learn from not only other junior teams, but adult teams as well. We really encourage the kids to stick around and watch our adults during their games so that they can understand what strategies they're going to need when they age up and go to one of the awesome home teams of Boulder.
My favorite thing about derby, like we talked about before, is that there's no boundaries. So there's no, to a point, there's no size requirements, there's no age requirements, there's no gender requirements to skate. So derby kind of has that going for it with the kids aging up, in that they've already experienced a very wide variety of gameplay, of skill level, of physicality. And I think that what I'm trying to do is get the kids used to a base level of advanced skill work. Because that's something that I can give them no matter what. So the footwork, the endurance, all of those things are things that people can't take away from them. No matter which league they go to, they will have this foundation of play and then be able to adapt to different teams' abilities and strategies. And then fostering healthy teamwork. I also want the kids to know, the derby community is the majority of the time very supportive, but I also know that there are pockets of hyper competitiveness, or like any sport that you play, areas that maybe you don't want to find yourself. So I also want to give the kids a level of boundaries where they know when they're uncomfortable, or they know when things aren't okay, and they feel comfortable speaking up. I have had some of the kids who have leveled up and tried to go to adult leagues have poor experiences, and advocated for them with other leagues and told them that things aren't okay. So it's a matter of teaching kids that it's okay to be uncomfortable, and it's okay to speak out, and that you have allies elsewhere.
The biggest thing I learned from derby is to always just try your best and to try new things, because everything kind of adds up. If you jam, then it makes you better at blocking. If you block, it makes you better at jamming.
How to get back up again. That's one of the main things our coach teaches us, is recycle, or every jam, that was the last jam, so it doesn't matter anymore, it's in the past.
Just how to trust people and be on a team and work together.
Teamwork is definitely a big thing. I've learned how to communicate better with people and work with people.
Oh, wow. I haven't been coaching long, but, I don't know that I have one single moment. Every time that I step on this track, every time that I step on our track at bouts, or we go to different tournaments, I see improvement every single time, whether it's a small individual improvement or a greater improvement as a team. These kids give 110%, and their drive and that fire inside of them, they push all the way to the line. They really communicate with each other. That's what's memorable to me, is watching them grow and shape into amazing athletes.
There have been a lot of ups and downs starting competitively. I will say that one of my favorite memories was last year when we went to Nebraska. We played 2 very physical and emotionally challenging games, and I was 8 months pregnant and also pretty emotional myself, and I was running behind getting to where we were eating dinner. But when I walked in, all of the kids were laughing and joking and having a good time, and they just had, you wouldn't even be able to tell that they just had their spleens eaten repeatedly. So that was one of my favorite moments. And then I don't know, there's just snapshots all the time of kids having successes and coming off the track and looking at me like, the thing, and I'm like, the thing. And it happens, they're like, you know, they're glimmers. They're really lovely glimmers, and I have probably 1,000 pictures in my brain of every kid that we coach doing that. But Nebraska was the most traumatic and also the most heartening experience. So Derby kind of attracts on an adult level, and I found it also applies to the juniors, attracts a wide variety of people that have a common thread. Whether you're athletic, whether you've never done an athletic thing in your life, no matter what size, gender, anything, it's kind of people who have always been searching for a community of people. And so we all kind of, everybody that I've met who has done Derby has been searching for that. And so that's like the common thread through everybody. With the kids at least, I know that a lot of kids that are searching for community have had a hard time in mainstream sports or in school or kind of in any of those social scenarios. And so this is a safe haven. So I make it a personal goal when the kids come to have a conversation about bullying. It's absolutely not allowed here. And just the base level of all Derby is actually trust. You can't skate in a wall together. You can't trust your offense. You can't jam unless you have teammates that you are willing to, it sounds cheesy, but go into battle with, because this is a very physical sport and it's a very emotional sport. So you need people that are willing to front for you on an emotional and physical level all the time, on top of carrying themselves. It's like any other relationship in that way. So it's something that I have a foundation of, this is acceptable behavior and this is not. And then honestly, the kids are, because they found this inclusive space and they found one another, are actually pretty wonderful at maintaining that level of inclusiveness, no matter age, size, sex, gender, what have you. They're really good at forming that community themselves.
I really like just how close everyone is, and everyone like tries their best to help everyone out. Like if someone's struggling, everyone puts an effort to help them.
Specifically, I love the Devils team. It's amazing community. It's my way to relax. It's a bunch full of really great people that we communicate well. It's a welcoming community, so all that stuff.
I really like this team because we're newer, and so we all know each other because we all started from the same point. So I think it's just really fun to play with the members on my team.
It's just a fun local team with many people that I enjoy being around.
It's a lot of people my age, and they're very similar to me, but there's also a lot of diversity and allows me to make a lot of friends that I normally might not otherwise.
It's a fine line, and sometimes it's hard because, you know, emotions play into sports. but we want to make sure that the kids are in a safe environment while they're enjoying themselves, while they're learning a very competitive sport. I don't know another sport that's as full contact as roller derby. So in order to kind of foster that fine balance, we challenge them. We do fun things together during practice. We have them get to know other teams and really kind of mesh well with other roller derby teams in the area. We want them to do fun things while they're on the track, and it's okay to be competitive. I always tell the kids, you either win, you close a gap, or you learn something. And as long as they're doing one of those three things, you don't always win, but if you come away with some knowledge, that's good.
Yeah, so when we voted to become a competitive team, I was very candid with the kids and told them that we were going to lose a lot. So it's easier up front when you know that you're on an uphill battle. And recognizing that that's going to be more of a mental thing and a time thing. So last season, I told the kids that, our goal was just to survive the year. And after playing a handful of bouts, the kids understood why. And then this year, since we had a base level of experience, it became more about setting attainable goals and trying to reach them by the end of the season. So part of that is that I don't think that anybody improves in anything that they do unless they're enjoying it. So I would love for us to be a very competitive team, but I feel like if you aren't enjoying what you're doing, or if you're only doing it for the number at the end of the game, it's just something that you're going to plateau at and probably lose interest with. So my goal first and foremost is to foster a healthy community of friendship and trust, and then the want to work hard. And that's something that I think was really challenging at first because the kids didn't have any experience. And then we went to Nebraska, and and that was very traumatic. But we went through it together, and so there's kind of a bonding that comes with that trauma, and then also an understanding of like, this is a real thing and these are real goals that we could reach, but we have to work really hard and be serious about it. So by the end of the season, we had exponential growth because the kids took that experience and then they used it to build a space where they worked really hard but also connected with one another. And so that's kind of where we're at in this season too, where we've lost a couple kids for age reasons and health reasons, and now we have a couple new folks. So the beginning of the season is always kind of a, where does everybody fit, and how can we best support one another to reach the competitive goals that we have.
People at BCRD because they choose to be there and they go to every practice learning to skate and just to have fun.
I love that they're always like here for me, and like they're always supportive to like everyone on the team. And I love my coaches because like if I'm getting down on myself, they're always there to like cheer me up and tell me what I could have done better. So that's really helpful.
I really like how welcoming everyone is, because even if there's someone new, they always try their best to include them.
I really like how supportive all of the Devils are of each other. Like rain, snow, or sun, we're all going to show up and we're all going to be there and we're all there to have fun.
They're all really nice and welcoming. Like the second you meet them, it's like they're your best friend. It doesn't matter which team they're on or where they're from.
They're all around my age and we all connect and bond like the second that we meet.
Again, I love how they support each other really much and like how we work as a team a lot. I don't think I've ever met anyone in another sport that's quite like someone who plays roller derby.
about these kids, don't tell them I said this, but I really enjoy their sweaty hoods. I love their love for each other and their love for this sport. It's infectious. You're gonna get me choked up. Just how excited they get, and even if they lose a game, you know, they take that on the chin and they pop right back up, and they're so resilient, and just how much they just love being with each other. When one's gone for whatever reason, either it's another sport or they get injured, we miss them. We feel that. That's what's most memorable to me. That's what's important to me and to these kids. It's just having each other. That's my favorite.
Wow, that's it is a big question. It's gonna sound really cheesy, but I love all of them like they are my kids. This is a really hard sport, and it is a really hard time to be a human in general, but also a really hard time to be a young human. So I get to experience pockets of these kids' lives where the outside world is really hard, and some kids don't have a space or support system or all of these things, and then they come here and I get to watch them kind of blossom and be free, and I get to see them grow in ways that I've never seen. I had a skater last year who cried every single practice, and then by the end of the season, not at all, and just was like so much more confident and okay with her abilities. And I have, it's just a matter of getting to know all of them, like, is a privilege. Getting to know them and then learning how to help them grow, learning things to say to help them reset. It's just, overall, it's just a privilege. I love all of the kids, and I love doing what I do. Should I look at the camera? Okay.
I'll ask you the questions, but you can go back and forth.
Okay.
He's gonna cut it.
Okay, beautiful. I'm also sorry in advance that I'm a super awkward person. I'm ready.